What if Egypt went to war with Ethiopia? Forget hypotheticals. This is the single most dangerous standoff on the African continent, a fuse that's been burning for over a decade. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, Ethiopia's $5 billion source of national pride and electrical power, is, in the eyes of Cairo, an existential threat to the 105 million Egyptians who live in a desert ribbon along the Nile. Egypt has called the Nile a red line. Its politicians have spoken of military options. The world assumes if war comes, Egypt wins. It has to. It has the fiercer military, the advanced jets, the combat experience, and the most powerful motivation imaginable: survival. But I am going to show you how that certainty is a catastrophic illusion. In this all-too plausible scenario, Ethiopia doesn't need to defeat the Egyptian military. It just needs to survive the first, furious blow. Because in surviving, it triggers a chain reaction that turns Egypt's greatest strengths into devastating weaknesses, fractures the Arab world, and forces every superpower to abandon Cairo. The outcome is not an Egyptian victory, it is an Egyptian nightmare, frozen in place by a United Nations mandate nobody wanted, with the dam still standing, and Egypt's regional dominance shattered forever. This is not a war of conquest, it is a war of time, pressure, and catastrophic diplomatic fallout. Let's begin with the moment. The fuse burns out. Egypt's attack would be the most consequential military action in the Middle East since the Gulf Wars. It would not be a limited strike, it would be a hurricane designed to decapitate, isolate, and strangle Ethiopia in a single, breathtaking move. In the pre-dawn hours, Egyptian Special Forces units, inserted via Sudan, or from submarines in the Red Sea, sabotage key fiber optic cables and power substations around Bahir Dar and Gondar, creating a localized blackout in the dam's region. Simultaneously, a massive state-level cyber attack cripples Ethiopia's integrated air defense network, military command communications, and the core servers of the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. Addis Ababa goes digitally dark. As chaos blooms, the Egyptian Air Force moves. This is not a peer force. This is one of the most well-equipped in Africa, thanks to decades of US funding and recent French and Russian deals. From bases in Aswan, Hurghada, and the strategic Jebel El Basser base, near the Sudan border, squadrons of F-16CD Block 52+ fighters, Dassault Rafale multi-role jets, and E-2C Hawkeye airborne early warning planes streak south. Their first targets are not the dam, they are the tools that could defend it. First, Bishoftu Air Base, also known as Harar Meda. This is home to Ethiopia's precious fleet of Russian-made Su-27 and Su-30 fighters. Egyptian Rafales, flying at the edge of their combat radius, launch long-range scalp cruise missiles. Following behind, F-16s armed with American-made Spice 2000 precision-guided bunker busters crater every runway intersection and target-hardened aircraft shelters. The goal is to trap and destroy the Ethiopian Air Force on the ground in the first 30 minutes of the war. Second, the ground-based air defense network, Russian-made SA-3 Goa and SA-6 Gainful batteries, along with the newer Pantsir S-1 systems, Ethiopia acquired, are hunted using signals intelligence and anti-radiation missiles. Egypt establishes a crushing no-fly zone over the entire theater of operations. With air superiority established, the second wave focuses on making the dam a strategic island. The Guba-Bahir Dar Highway, the critical road link from the west, is severed by standoff missiles. The bridges over the Blue Nile at Tissa Bay are dropped into the gorge. To the east, the Chinese-built Ethio-Djibouti Railway, Ethiopia's economic lifeline, is cut near Dire Dawa. Within 6 hours, the region containing the GERD is isolated and Ethiopia's connection to the port of Djibouti is paralyzed. Then comes Phase 3, the precision strike on the GERD itself. This is the moment of truth. Egyptian pilots, now operating with near impunity, commence a surgical campaign. The objective is not to catastrophically breach it. That would unleash a biblical flood on Sudan, creating an unimaginable humanitarian and diplomatic disaster that would turn the entire world against Egypt. The objective is structural degradation. Using advanced penetrator munitions, they target the dam's auxiliary infrastructure, the massive powerhouse, containing the turbines, the electrical substations that step up voltage for transmission, the control systems, for the emergency spillways. The goal is to render the GERD a silent, useless hulk of concrete, unable to generate a single watt of power, unable to efficiently store or manage water, its symbolic and economic value nullified. A parallel strike hits the GERD Command and Control Center in Cairo. Watching real-time drone footage, they declare the operation a stunning success. The Nile, they believe, is secured. The Ethiopian threat is neutered. They have just committed a historic blunder. They have started a clock they cannot stop.